we run into situations oftentimes where people have to sell a home and buy a home congruently. Okay, so same day, they're closing on both homes. There's a lot of hiccups that can happen in the equation, right? And I know this is something that we see on a regular basis. Can you share any tips, insights, thoughts about that?
Yeah, so same day closings are a really regular thing that we deal with. And coming from a buyer's perspective, it can seem like a lot and almost impossible. Some people need to be able to close on the sale of their house so they can utilize the funds that they're going to receive in their net proceed amount to be able to purchase and execute the funding on their next mortgage. So you can do it a couple of different ways. You can do it the same day where you could go from one closing to the next, and the mover truck and all your belongings are en route while you're signing documents, and then boom, you're moved in. Or you can space them out, stagger them. So you close on one and then you figure out short-term housing and then close on the other one a couple of days later to make it a little bit more comfortable. That's more of an expensive way to handle it, because sometimes you have to, incur hotel fees or, room and board somewhere. If you're lucky enough to have a family member, a place to stay for a day, that helps. I personally, from my perspective, think it's money well spent, or at least have a plan B in place. So that way, if something gets jammed up on one closing or the other, you're not left without having a place to sleep that night. So if you are selling a house to be able to execute the purchase of another house, make sure you have plan A and plan B, and even a plan C if things don't work out, because not in a perfect world, they go off seamlessly. We're not in a perfect world, and sometimes things come up and it was unforeseen, unpredicted, and it'll cause the situation to be much more stressful if it's not thought out ahead of the time.
Like you said, when you're working with people who do this all the time, we're going to walk you through that process, make sure it goes off without a hitch. But there is some times where there are hitches, right? Let's talk about those, right? Let's talk about some situations, some nightmares that we've been involved with. I can tell you one of them would be when sellers decide, hey, you know what? We're just not going to close on the closing day that we had planned, right? We've seen this lately, and it happens. And we have buyers that are like, oh my God, we've closed on our home. We need to get into our next house. These poor people, we bring the legal team in, we bring everyone in. It can be kind of a nightmare.
Yeah, well, the thing that is a hard reality to face is, it can feel like someone's attacking you or doing something like illegal to you. It's not like you can pick these people up out of their house, move all their stuff out, force them to sign the paperwork, and then if they don't do it, we put them in jail or timeout or something. So the result of having to deal with a situation like that is that you can't punish these people. If they don't have any money to pay you to make it right, then you can't grab blood from a stone. You can't make them pay if they don't have funds or not willing to pay funds. The only thing you can really focus on is, the action of a lawsuit, which is a long, dragged out process, and it still doesn't solve the issue of not having housing to figure out. So the goal is, that's why ahead of time, it's like if this closings don't go off as planned for one reason or another, we have to figure out where we're going to go so we're not, homeless. There's a safe place for us people to live in.